Good morning, it's Erin here. For today's class, we'll be doing a 30-minute flow, and I thought I would explain and teach about different ways of doing a half sun salutation. We'll do the half sun salutation in 3 ways: in the chair, on the ground kneeling, and standing. So at any point, you can just stick with one of those options. We'll begin in the chair for the first one. And then you can just continue with that option, or you might choose to try all the different options out, depending on what your body allows for today. Just kind of checking in with where you need to be and modifying for that. So yeah, we'll begin with a little flow, just like we usually do, just kind of warm up and get into the body, and then walk through those different variations of Sun Salutation A, which is something I really like to do in the morning. So it is the morning for me. I'm not sure what time it'll be for you when you're finally getting to watch this and practice, but it's a nice way to just wake up the body and connect with the breath. So anyways, let's start in the chair. Let's see here. As usual, if you prefer to just start seated on the ground, that's totally fine with me. If you prefer to lay down to begin, that's fine too. If you're starting in your chair, I'll invite you to start in a kind of child's pose variation, where you can bring your knees, your feet wide, rest your forearms on the tops of your thighs, and then just drop your head down. This kind of introspective pose to begin in. If you are on the ground and you want to move into a child's pose, that just looks like bringing your knees wide on the mat and setting the hips back towards your heels. You can rest your forehead down on the ground, or you can rest your forearms on the ground and just drop your head and pause in that way. So whatever variation you choose, just allow yourself to settle in to your breath here. Slow breaths in and slow breaths out. You might even choose to let a couple breaths out of your mouth, like a cleansing breath. I really like to do that when it's really hot outside. I think it feels really good. You can take an inhale through your nose and a slow exhale out of your mouth. Let's just do 2 more of those. Inhale slowly. Exhale out the mouth. And last one, inhale. And a slow breath out. Gently begin to make your way back up, either kneeling on the ground or just sitting up in your seated mountain pose in your chair. Just getting connected to whatever is touching the ground here, noticing what parts of your body are touching the earth. You can let your hands rest on the tops of your legs, or you can let your hands rest at your sides. Just find a little lift in your chest, nice tall spine. And let's take a few slow breaths here. So Inhaling and exhaling slowly. You might continue with those cleansing breaths here. A breath out of the mouth, just helping to calm and cool the body and mind. About 2 more rounds here. Slow breath in. Slow breath out. And last one, inhale. And a big breath out as you soften. So just letting everything go, just sitting in a more relaxed position. And sometimes that movement from being really active and then relaxing helps to actually feel what's going on in the pose and in your body. So sometimes when we're really lifted and active, we don't really notice a big difference. And then when we soften, like, wow, that feels really different, or maybe it doesn't for you, and that's okay too. So just kind of practicing that for about 2 more rounds here, just finding your active mountain pose, reaching through the fingertips, pressing through the feet, lifting the chest, and then softening. And just once more, just finding your mountain pose, sitting up tall. That might be kneeling. You might be kneeling on your mat still. That's fine. I'm just going to show that real quick so you know what I mean. Just kneeling, sitting up tall, active, and then softening wherever you are, just softening. And we'll just start a little bit of warm up here, just starting with that shifting of weight. Shifting weight side to side, just feeling into the sitting bones, those pointy parts of the pelvis that are touching the surface that you're on. Bone structure is getting heavier. And then just bringing that rocking up into your rib cage. So it probably already was a little bit, just kind of exaggerating the lean of your rib cage side to side. Just moving into that space of your body. Continuing to breathe slowly. All right, and up into the shoulders. One shoulder up, other shoulder up, just shrugging up and down, shoulder to shoulder. And then you might move that into some big shoulder rolls, one shoulder at a time, or you can move both. And then feel free to move that up into a little bigger circle with your elbows, and then maybe a bigger circle with your arms. So you can just kind of take a couple rounds of this shoulder roll, elbow roll, and arm roll, big circle. Warming up that space in your shoulders. And whenever you're ready, you can move into the neck. So we're just gonna rock the head side to side. Just warming up through the sides of the neck. And maybe even start a little circling, half circle, rocking ear from shoulder to shoulder. Letting your chin draw a line across the collarbones. Or you can take a full circle here, letting your head gently fall back. If you're taking the full circle, be mindful to keep your chin lifted, just to keep a little bit of space in the back of the neck. So circle in the other direction if you're continuing with the circles. And we'll all just meet back in the middle with the chin drop down towards the chest, and just pause here for a little bit of time. Just pausing and settling here. Feeling that space in the back of the neck. Chin is heavy towards the chest. You might even feel this into your upper back. And let's take one big breath in to fill in that space between the shoulder blades. And a full breath out. Bring your head back to neutral. And then lift your head up towards the ceiling. So just lifting your chin up here. Finding that opposite stretch in the front of your throat. You can close your mouth. Lift the chin a little higher. Take one more inhale. And then back through the center, exhale. All right, next step, let's bring the hands to the top of the head. So option here to just place your hands there, or you can interlace your fingers and place your hands down. And just allow the weight of your hands and your elbows here just to kind of drop you into this position, drop you into this space. So this action of hands heavy on the head can actually bring this sort of grounding energy into your body. Notice your feet touching the ground. Feel free to sway a little while you're here, side to side. Just take one more big breath in. And then exhale, just release your hands, and you might even kind of wiggle your fingertips through the space around you as you bring your hands back down to your sides. Good, and just take a big breath in here. A full breath out. Let's stretch one arm alongside the ear. Bring the other hand to the side of your chair or onto the ground if you're seated on the ground, and gently lean over. Just a little side body stretch here. Gently lift the chest. Continue to be heavy in your hips, grounded. And then come back through the center. Over to the other side for a couple breaths. Just leaning, lifting your chest. Steady flowing breath. Okay, just come back through the middle and lean to the other side. We'll do a little flow here, just side to side. And you can match that with your breath if you'd like. Inhale to one side, exhale to the other. Or you might make that movement even slower and inhale to one side, exhale through the middle, and inhale to the other side. So it's just an option to change your breath a little bit. We'll do this for just a little bit more time. Again, this rhythm of the body flowing side to side can feel really nice and grounding as well. Rhythm is something that's within all of us, this sense of music or steadiness that's naturally in the body and spirit. Okay, gently come back through the middle. Take your time and just pause. Just pausing for a moment or two. Feel free to close your eyes. You can place your hands on your belly, maybe even giving your belly a little rub here, just settling with that movement in your body. Okay, cat and cow, hands to the tops of the thighs, or you can come into a tabletop position. So I'm gonna model this in a tabletop first. If you know what you're doing and you're in the chair and wanna just start with that, we've done it a couple times in the videos. So you might know where to go. And if not, you can just take a look at the ground variation, hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And you just start to drop the belly down, look up, and then arch your back, rounding in, hugging in. And we'll do this for a little bit of time, little flow with the breath. Inhale into your cow pose, and exhale into cat pose. Okay, so chair variation. If you'd like to stay in your chair, hands on the thighs, like I said, and then just arch your back, look up. cow pose, and then rounding for your cat pose. Your spine moves back towards the back of your chair. Then let's just take a couple more rounds, whether you're on the ground in tabletop or in your chair. We're still moving the spine in the same way, finding that arch as we inhale, exhaling, rounding. You might notice your head moving with this movement as well, looking up as you inhale and then dropping the head down as you exhale. All right, in the next couple of breaths, we'll just meet back in a neutral place. Just sitting up tall. We'll just do a little introduction to the sun salutation. Some of you may already know what that looks like. That's great. I'm just going to talk through all of the different variations, and at any point, feel free to just go off and do the variation that you want to be doing and practice that for a few rounds with your breath. By no means do you have to do everything that I'm doing on this video. You can break off at any point and just move into your variation. So sun salutation, half sun salutation in the chair. We start in mountain pose. So we're seated up tall, we're pressing the feet into the ground, chest is lifted, hands can rest at your sides. Your inhale will bring your arms up, extended mountain, look up. As you exhale, just fold forward over your legs. Hands can come to the thighs or the ground. Let your chin drop towards your chest. And then we'll lift halfway. So just lengthening the spine forward as you pull your hips back. And then we fold again. Exhale. And then your inhale brings you all the way back up. Arms stretch up, reach up. And hands down to your sides, exhale, or to heart center. Palms can come to heart center too. Inhale, the arms sweep up. Same thing here, we're just folding forward, exhale. Lift halfway as you inhale, look forward, hands on the thighs, the ground, or shins. Exhale to fold. Inhale brings you to rise back up. And exhale, hands down. Okay, so that's the half sun salutation. So you can continue with that practice there. I'm going to move on to the ground and show you the kneeling variation. Just moving with the breath, we're trying to see how that feels. If you're kneeling, go ahead and just rise up on the knees so your hips come away from your heels. Take a big breath in and stretch up. Your exhale will bring you down into a child's pose, hands at your sides. Forehead can tap the ground or not. And then lift halfway. Bring your hands in front of you, look forward. And then exhale back down. And then inhale, rise all the way back up. Standing on the knees, arms sweep up. Exhale, hands down to heart center or to your sides. I'm just going to do that one more time. That was a complete cycle that I just did. So standing on the knees, arms sweep up, inhale. Exhale, we fold. Hands can come to your sides. And then slide the hands forward for a little support here. Lift the chest, look forward. And then fold again. And then we rise back up. Just standing up, arms sweep up, hands to the heart center or down to your sides. Great, okay, so you may continue practicing that variation, or you might move into your chair, whatever. Maybe you're still in your chair and you want to just keep flowing there. That's great. I'm going to show the standing half sun salutation now. Just standing on your 2 feet. Mountain pose. We stretch the arms up as we inhale. Exhale brings you into your fold, hands to the thighs or the ground. And then lifting halfway, a little half lift here. Lengthen the spine, look forward, and then fold again. And rise all the way up. Arms stretch up, look up, hands come down, heart center or to your sides. All right, one more time in the standing. I'm just gonna turn to the side so you can see the halfway lift a little bit better. Just sweeping the arms up as you inhale. Exhale brings you into your fold. Inhale, lift halfway, hands to the thighs, the shins or the ground. Exhale to fold. And inhale brings you to rise all the way up. Arms stretch up, hands to heart center or down to your sides. Okay, so let's just practice about 3 more rounds of that. 3 more rounds, just taking your time to do the variation that you prefer. So in your chair, on your knees, or standing up. I'm gonna just continue in the chair here and just move at your own pace with your own breath. You know what to do at this point. Finding a fold, releasing, finding your length, coming back to the fold to release again, and then rising up and out of that. Ending with an exhale, your hands down. And just do one more round here. Just connecting with your breath. Finding some kind of flow, and maybe you add a little extra flair to your half sun salutation, a little extra pose in there somewhere that feels good to you, extra stretch. Maybe you hold something for longer than just one part of the breath. Something I really like to do is adding a little lean to side. Arms can stretch up. If you'd like to practice this one with me, just leaning. We've done this before. Side to side. Coming back up through the middle. And then folding. Coming into halfway lift. And folding again. And rising up. Lots of options for movement, is knowing that whatever you choose to do is really just your practice and your exploration of what's going on in your body, checking in with that, checking in with sensation. So let's just pause wherever you are. Maybe it's in a child's pose, maybe just seated upright. You can rest your hands on your belly. Feel free to close your eyes. All right, so gently coming into a twist for our final pose before our rest. You can twist over one shoulder here, looking back behind you, hand on the leg. Can also do this from kneeling if you're in your kneeling position on the ground, which I'll just model that real quick. We're just finding a little lift in the chest, a little gaze back behind you, and a steady breath. Gently release through the center and just twist to the other side. Just a couple breaths here to the other side, the feet connected to the ground, gentle lift in the chest, steady breath. All right, slowly come back through the center. Make your way into the place that you like to rest, our Shavasana, the final pose of practice. Shavasana actually stands for corpse pose. It's thinking about ending the yoga practice in a place where we can just totally let go, rest, and then just start to reawaken, like a rebirth into what's next in our day, in life. Letting the practice settle in. You can lie on your back in traditional corpse pose with the legs extended. I'll just show that real quick. You can sit upright in your kneeling position or cross-legged, or just sit in your chair in a comfortable place. Feel free to close your eyes or keep them open. Let's take a cleansing breath together here in through the nose, out through the mouth. I'll be quiet for the next minute or so. Know that I'm still here, and I'll let you know when it's time to wake up. Just for these last few moments here, see if you can re-soften your physical body just a little bit more. Just slowly start to reawaken, keeping that soft quality as you wake up the body in any way that makes sense to you. Little movements. Maybe you come back up into a seated position if you're lying down. We'll meet in this gesture, mudra, Anjali mudra, palms connected at the heart center. Just find a gentle lift in your chest towards your thumbs. Thank you for sharing in practice today. Namaste. I hope to be able to see some of you in person in the near future. Until then, I'll just keep making some of these videos and wishing you well from afar. Talk to you soon. Thank you.